So if you haven't been following the Conjuring House chaos or saga, yet again, it was going to go up for auction on Halloween here in 2025, depending on when you watch this, see this, if you see it. Regardless, Jason Hawes had started a GoFundMe, which I was weary of to begin with. I know a lot of people think I'm against Jason Hawes. But I'm not. I'm not against or for Jason owning it over anybody else or anything. I'm literally indifferent on that specific situation. What I am, however, critical of is how he tends to phrase things. Especially in the GoFundMe. Like, you can see my Facebook post and whatever else, and you can clearly see the points that I was making. I know a lot of people jump on bandwagons. They say, Jason Hawes, he's legendary in the paranormal field. He must be super honest, and I don't see that. Number one, like I don't have any reason to dislike the guy. I don't know him personally. All I can base my opinion on is what I see posted from him personally, though. And like I said, even in the GoFundMe, for months, you had that Jacqueline Nunez chaos, and, and I felt sorry for the guy, especially regarding that situation. But like I said, if you read the GoFundMe and the things he was stating, like I said, it starts down the list. Everyone was telling him to do it. He was fighting it. And then all of a sudden, so he did it because everyone was asking. And then further down, he did it because there's a few people that he really cares about asked him to do it. And then further down, it's for Miss Perrin. Andrea, is that her name? Andrea Perrin, who was terminally ill, kind of on her deathbed, made a video, a plea for Jason to do something to try to take over the house. And I think that's what people are focusing on. The empathetic side, which is fine. Me, I look at things like I said, how he words it. It's to me, like I said, I just said there's something that makes me stop and pause. I would have loved to have donated. However, if you're following along, you know that someone already went and bought it kind of underhandedly before the auction. So they've canceled the auction. Jason Hawes does not have ownership. Nobody knows specifically who does yet. But that's all going to come out eventually, but not at the moment. I mean, I could throw a few names or suggestions out there, but I mean, really, it's no better than anyone else's idea. So I just wait for facts. I don't make assumptions. I don't try to. But like I said, everyone jumped on this bandwagon. I mean, most people, there's a couple larger sized donations, and his GoFundMe got like $60-some thousand within a couple days. He made a post himself, an update within the GoFundMe platform that froze his account and probably almost got it completely removed on him. The issue was he gave a promotion or a sale of goods trying to encourage people to donate more. I'm sure it wasn't intentional on his part, but I did catch that, and I called him out for it. And said, probably shouldn't do that. Like I said, I mean, within post, and I know he sees them because he did have direct responses to me on some platforms. So I know people are very well aware of who I am at times. But then when he addressed it, he made a post saying that they needed more information. The initial issue, let me tell you, was he had made an update, and within it he said, whoever the 10 biggest donors are, at the end of it, whoever the 10 biggest donors are, he will personally invest invite out and investigate the Conjuring house with them. That was the big no on the platform. And it's not because people were reporting it or anything to do like that. GoFundMe has an algorithm in AI specifically to locate things as such, and they did. And especially it has a lot of attention with how quickly his was growing and how publicly it was. So obviously they saw that, and it did end up going back live. He edited that post, took that saying out. So maybe that's why he didn't want to directly address it, because he didn't want to promote that. And he did a YouTube live afterward, when it was paused anyway. And he kind of quickly, under his breath, maybe he saw that I was watching, but I mean, I doubt that's why, but he kind of quickly said it was because of something, what he posted, but then quickly moved past it. No other mention. And when he did mention it before and after that, it was a glitch. And, it's comes down to a transparency issue. If you're asking your fan base for funds, this has been my number one issue from the get-go. If you're asking your fan bases for money, and these people take your word no matter what your opinion is, they will jump on board. And I think having to understand that, and knowing that there's a certain amount of responsibility and accountability that one has to be responsible for in doing such. And that's my whole thing, is to keep him honest. Like people might think that I hate him, or whatever. He might hate me. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. We don't personally know each other. My whole issue is when you're taking advantage of people, or you're in a position to potentially do so, like I'm watching, I will call you out even if no one else is. I'm not afraid to do that, number one. My other issue with the whole GoFundMe thing, like I said, it's... I don't know. Maybe people just were ignoring certain things or not connecting the dots how I did, or maybe I'm being overly cynical because of things that have happened in the past with people that I don't agree with, like Ryan Buell. What was his name? Paranormal State? Is that what he was on? Something. Anyway, he scammed people out of like $100,000, making events that he never set up, selling tickets to things that people were never going to be able to attend, claimed he had cancer, all kinds of stuff. Like I know he had a lot of personal issues going on at that time, but the issue is he never made it right. A lot of those people never got funded. They never got money back. They never got refunds. There's a whole lot of chaos, and this guy is still going around in the paranormal field, and people are freaking praising him when he has no business being in the paranormal. Absolutely not. He should not be attending events, especially as a host or a guest. Like it's absolute insanity to me. And I even reached out to Elton Castday and Matt Rife. Like I make posts. Like I said, I don't know any of them personally. Let's not like we're best buddies calling each other on the phone, and but I do make posts publicly and try to put it in positions sometimes where it will catch their attention. And I even state, now what, I'm all for, I can hold Matt Rife and Elton Castday responsible for the provisions within their contract to stay at the Warrens' house, because they had recently purchased the Warrens' house, and they had to put a lot of work into it. And I think, honestly, they saw the opportunity, they jumped on it, they really wanted it, and I think they just kind of jumped into a bad deal, to be honest, as far as numbers go. And then they had to fix things, they had to get things right with the town, because the damage that was already caused by the people that were running it already and got it shut down years ago. Regardless, but I can hold them responsible for their contract. But like, if you pay to go stay there, right now it's like 2,000, whatever it is. But I mean, you can stay there with up to 8 people, which is great because they kind of run it like an Airbnb, sort of. It's not Airbnb. You can't find it on Airbnb because it's not one. It's just kind of operated like one to an extent. So you've got that issue. And like I said, all the money they put into it, and I'm not knocking them. It was a lot of money getting it to be in the state that it is for them to operate it. So they have a very high cost. Cool. Like, I could save up enough eventually to go if I wanted to, if I really wanted to, but it does price me out. But like I said, if you went with a group of 8, it's still expensive, but it's more affordable. If you go with a group of 8, you can get it down to like, what, $250 each. I mean, that's just for the reservation. And then you have content issues, like I said, in their contract. Anyway, getting off point. Where was I going with this? See, sometimes my mind just beelines. Let's stay focused. Yeah, but Jason Hawes thing, kind of circling back to that. Like I said, I was talking about the price point. The issue is with the Conjuring house itself, not the Warren's house that Matt Rife and Eldon Castillo now own, and then I've got that up and running. I'm talking about the Conjuring house that someone just bought out from everyone before the auction. Which is a little bit humorous. I'm sure it's going to piss a lot of people off. But at a certain point, it is what it is. I hope they do well. But even if Jason Hawes had won the bid, but let's say he did. Like I said, with running through all the information, his GoFundMe, all of his posts, his idea was to give it back in operation at a cost efficient price point, which he didn't mention because that's an unknown number. So I mean, he's running on saying it's going to be affordable, but what's affordable? Like I even made a post saying that, then state a number: 1,500, 800, 300. What's affordable? But the previous owner of that specific location used to have a ridiculously high price point also, like 2,000 whatever plus dollars. And then if you wanted to record, this is the same criticism that I have for Elton and Matt. Is if you want to record, like in the paranormal field, if you're going there, you're going to record. Doesn't matter what. I don't care if you're doing it for content itself. You're trying to record whatever, but the provision is if you post it, you can't post on social or anywhere else unless they approve your video or what it is that you're posting. That's an automatic no for me, regardless. Just not going to happen. But anyway, circling back around, because I get lost in thought, Jason's idea for the Conjuring house for operations was to give it back to the people that were running it before, and not the owner, but the tour guides, whoever else, and get them back involved. The problem I have with that would have been that you're giving it back to people to operate under an LLC, nonetheless. So there's no outside influence, there's no voting, there's nothing. It's not a nonprofit, it's not an IOP, which is an open business model that has like trades and shares that sell on the public market, and investors and everything else. But it's going to go back to the very people that were operating it before under Jacqueline Nunez, who were part of the initial issue. Now, the only time they ever had an issue or spoke up or walked away from Jacqueline Nunes, she went a little batty. Not gonna lie, a lot of batty. But they didn't have an issue until they weren't getting paid. See, I have an issue with that. At least if you're keeping an honest track of things and saying that you want to run this on integrity and everything else, but then you're going to give it back to the very people that were okay scamming people or ripping them off these price points, no matter how you view it. That's what they were doing. They were okay with it until they stopped getting paid or benefiting from it somehow. And only then did they even attempt to speak out. So do you see the issue that I have with that? Like, everyone's jumping on this bandwagon, go Jason, but Jason said he doesn't want anything to do with the day-to-day operations. So it wouldn't be Jason, it would be Jason funding it, opening the LLC, and then leaving it to all these other individuals already. And mainly, I mean, I could have been proven wrong, I could have been proven right. My theory is that his daughter and her fiance or whatever probably would have had quite a large part in the day-to-day operations. Just saying. They did specifically come out and say that's not why. I'm not buying it for Satori or, you know, which is fine. Like I said, and when I said that, when I stated that, it was like an exaggeration. I was making a point of how he should be more transparent and more direct with his wording, because of what I see in writing and how he writes it. It's a little back and forth, and I call it wishy-washy, which makes me pause already, especially if you're asking for money. It's wishy-washy. It makes me hesitate. But then I know he does the same thing when he speaks. When he's trying to say things, or he's trying to retract things in his mind. He's going over it saying, should I say this? And I can see that. I see the hesitation. Like I said, when he was addressing why his GoFundMe initially got paused, you know, online, he's like, oh, it's a glitch and blah, blah, blah. I said, but you're already not being transparent. I already sense dishonesty, whether that's your intention or not. Like, you can have great intentions, but when you're asking the public, and like I said, those you have influence over, there's a degree of responsibility and accountability that you have to be held to. And I will be sure of that, no matter who it is. If I see it happening or going on, I will point things out. I will point out inconsistencies, like a big red flag, and I will wave that banner loud as I can, regardless of the flow of followers or traffic that's going with, right? Because I want to be seen, not as an adversary. I'm not against anyone, but like I said, I want to make sure I'm holding people accountable, especially when they're supposedly running on honesty. But like, I want to keep people honest, especially in the paranormal field. That is so hard to do. It's so hard to come by. There's a lot of people I get along with, a lot of people I like, and some I just avoid commenting on their content because it's entertaining. Is it honest? I mean, it's for you to decide, really, concerning some things. But like I said, if they're not out asking their following for money, or you know, then cool. I'm okay with that, to an extent. Entertainers are entertainers at the end of the day. That's all I'm going to say. And I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Matt Rife. I don't care if it's Elton Castay. I don't care if it's Sam and Kobe. I don't care if it's Zach Baggins or Jason Hawes or Nick Groff. There's always a sense of entertainment value that has to be acknowledged. Regardless of how great of an investigator you are outside or on your own, Barry, example. I find him to be a very knowledgeable person. But when it comes to TV or shows or being liked on networks and everything else, like you have to have an entertainment aspect, right? Anyway, this is going on for 20 minutes. My rambling. I'm just going to end it there because I've said my piece, and that's all I can really do. So, yeah, I'm tired. It's late. It's time for bed. I gotta get up for work in the morning. My little ones are probably gonna wake me up a few times in between then. Yeah, dad life. I don't get out much as I'd like to anymore, but they're worth it. All right, bye everyone.